Hey guys. Hey. Hey. So Donna's not here.
No, she's not here. She quit.
She didn't.
She's not the part of this anymore. You guys forced her out.
We're just we're chilling out. Last episode got real chaotic.
Yeah, we need to catch our breath.
We do, and so that's what this episode.
We're going through a lot.
Yeah, we are. And
oh God, a lot though.
Well, Teddy's got a lot.
I got shakes. I'm shaking.
Because of what again?
Oh God, I got the bean withdrawals.
That's right, folks. Teddy's got bean withdrawals.
I've been eating too many beans. Now I can't afford them beans. I'm not getting the beans like I used to. So my body is rejecting a lot of nutritions. I'm really going through it.
Yep. So we're gonna keep this light today. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna be looking at some JonBenet news that's going on, some theories that were seen on this past week, and we also reach out to Reddit. So
we did. Bobby made a nice post and talked to nice people on Reddit. I haven't read any posts, but I'm sure they're all really nice.
Right, exactly. So we got next week's episode we're gonna start delving into our theories.
Oh yeah,
and where we're at in the case.
We're gonna be looking at a lot of things. I'm so sorry.
So before that though, again, like I said, we talked to Reddit. We got some wild theories in there that people have encountered, and let's not waste any time. Let's get you ready to get into a study.
Yeah, Bobby, you got any beans?
No, God damn it,
Bobby, maybe just like a can, a can of black beans, Pinto.
Oh my God, it's not even baked beans. You're just any beans.
Any beans. I just need a bean texture. Let's do the episode. Let's just get going. We're gonna catch our breath. I'm gonna make a quick. I'm gonna just go in the kitchen real quick.
All right. Well, I'm Bobby Pavlovsky,
and I'm Teddy Ronald Reagan. That's Mickey.
And this is
JonBenet Today.
So I quelled Teddy with some water that's in a empty can of beans.
Mm-hmm. I really appreciate Bobby.
Water washed with beans.
Well, it's got the bean enzymes in it.
Yeah.
And I'm already feeling a little bit better.
Are you?
I'm a little bit better.
Yeah, he has stopped shaking. Sweat's no longer brown.
I'm not trying to strangle the dog anymore.
Yeah, but
that's good. That's an improvement.
Yeah, I don't know why you were in the first place.
Well, it's a compulsions. It's like Michael J. Fox, my Fox and the Hound. It's like the revenge where I get that. It's like with Parkinson's. People don't understand that Parkinson's is like the rabies you get from bitten by a fox.
That's not true at all.
By being bit by a fox or by being
Michael J. Fox was
assaulted.
Not in the Fox and the Hound. He did not get Parkinson's from being bit by a dog.
You don't know how he got Parkinson's. He's never been on the record about it.
I don't think that's one of the things that's like the media's always like, Michael, where'd you get Parkinson's?
That's gonna be we should do like special episodes where we solve mysteries that people don't think about. And that's going to be one of the mysteries. How did Michael J. Fox get Parkinson's?
You know that Stuart Little, that was going to be mocap.
Mocap,
yeah,
Stuart Little.
He showed up first day in that suit, and they're like, okay.
They were like, the mouse is going through the walls. The computers can only handle so much. We can't even make Sims 2 yet.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. We love you, Michael J. Fox.
We love you. Get better.
And it's not your fault that I'm strangling the dog.
Imagine if the only cure was if you had to find out where you got it. That's the only way. You have to go back to Dollywood, Michael J. Fox.
The worst fucking treasure map. Like, I swear to God, I sit down in a fucking Denny's. I start reading it like Jumanji. I got Parkinson's and I'm in a world where I got to figure out how I got it.
These are two people who clearly do not understand how Parkinson's works at all.
No.
And we apologize for that.
I am not a doctor or a teacher or an expert.
We're going to make a donation in Teddy's name to the Parkinson's Foundation.
A donation in beans. In celebration for the fact that beans is part of my discovery of the cause.
Fund his bean problem.
Once I figure out why I need beans so much, then I'm gonna know where I got Parkinson's from.
If it gets to the point where people actually send us beans, I'm gonna be so upset because I don't like beans.
I probably got Parkinson's in Indiana. I was in Wendy's over by Fort Worth. No, Fort Wayne's. I was by Fort Wayne, and which I've never seen the fort there. And I was in the Wendy's, and it was on a hill, and the parking lot was sloped. And I was waiting at the bus stop, and I saw a brown colored balloon floating just by itself, and I started hearing giggles coming from like a sewer grate. And I was like, "What's this brown balloon?" And I didn't know it was shit until I popped it.
It's not it. It's shit.
I popped it, Bobby, and at first it spotted on the ground. I was like, "Is that baked beans?" And after a couple tastes, a couple mouthfuls, I realized, no, this is feces. And also,
there's a clown in the sewer.
There was a clown in the sewer.
Brown shit below the same shit. That's great.
He was covered in shit. He was covered in shit. It was clear. It was clear that he shit in a balloon. I mean, I didn't know clowns could shit so much.
I don't. I mean, if it's like the movie It, he's like a magic clown.
It was like the methane of the shit that made the balloon rise. Once you put some heat on it, then the balloon just starts to rise. I was like, wow, there's no even helium.
This is the worst clown. So if he's covered in shit, how do you know he's a clown?
Well, because he still had a red nose, and
it wasn't shit covered?
He had a triangular hat, which is the shape of a hat. Mm-hmm. And we'll talk about triangles another time. And basically, he curled his like long gloved finger.
Yeah.
and I followed him. I went down there, and he held me in that sewer for about 3 months. It wasn't until he accidentally got bitten by a rat that he got rat Parkinson's.
Right.
And I was able to make my escape when there was a flash flood.
Yeah, I understand. So you guys need to understand here, if you're new here, Teddy has a lot of fever dreams and
fever lives.
Yeah.
A lot of things happen in my life that are feverish, and I usually have a temperature while it's occurring.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right, Bobby.
And he confuses them with reality. Just so you know.
Well, I mean, I know what I went though, and I know I'm shaking, and I know that the bean water's helping.
And you just eat too many beans.
Well, listen, I see that this bean water still got a bean in it. So Bobby cleaned it, but he didn't clean it all the way.
He's literally hallucinating a bean in it. There's no bean in there.
Oh, that's a good bean.
So hey, let's move on here. We're gonna get started here. So there's a little bit of JonBenet news.
JonBenet news.
Yeah, it turns out.
What's she up to? Oh wait,
that's enough.
I'm so sorry. I forgot completely the entire purpose. The fact that we've spent 13 hours.
It's the bean withdrawal.
I'm so sorry. It's the bean withdrawal. Please forgive me. You still love me, Bobby. Why you still love me?
Yeah, I still love you.
Oh, that's all that matters.
All right, so JonBenetRamsey limited series in the works from Yellowstone Studios.
Oh,
Paramount Plus.
Yeah,
they're gonna be working on it this summer, from what I understand, in like Vancouver or some shit.
No, maybe that Stone had potty issues too. Right, it's yellow.
No, it's the one word. It's that stupid show.
Oh, Yellowstone, the one with the
run written by the sheriff. From
Kevin Kirkpatrick, Kevin Costner.
Taylor Sheridan's the writer. Whatever.
Taylor Sheridan.
Anywho, so yeah, MTV
please share less.
Oh Jesus Christ. MTV Entertainment Studios and 101 Studios, the producer of Yellowstone and its assorted spin-offs, are developing a limited series about the killings of JonBenetRamsey.
Oh my God!
The project is in its early stages. It doesn't have an outlet attached yet.
No outlets.
That's not true. It's at no. I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was at Paramount.
Yeah, it's gonna be on Paramount Plus, what I understood.
Oh.
So we don't know, in what capacity they're. Right, like what the thing is.
What's it gonna be like?
Looks like a lot of people are speculating that it's gonna be definitely a Ramsey did it theory.
Oh, really?
But the writers on it, one of them, this guy Harrison Query.
Harrison Query.
Yeah.
Really?
So he actually used to be a Redditor, which is interesting because we talked to Redditors later in this episode. But the writer of the limited series, Harrison Query, hey
Harrison.
Yeah,
we did an entire podcast talking about and on the way of solving the JonBenet case, and we talked a lot about. I mean, if you want to, if you find any of this information that we share helpful, you should reach out to us.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, bye.
But no. Sorry, I was just looking it up. But I just thought it was interesting. I was making sure it was the right guy because I was like,
oh yeah.
But yeah. So he used to be. He got discovered on the No Sleep subreddit.
No Sleep.
Yeah, that's a subreddit where you write.
They got bean withdrawal and they can't sleep. Like I can't sleep. I haven't slept in 5 days.
It's basically just like little scary stories that people come up with.
Oh.
And they'll write them sometimes in series where it's like, I've been looking forward to your new chat. It's a very interesting community. It's been around for a long time.
No.
But yeah,
he's like a Stephen King of No Sleep.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool.
I guess, that's a good way to look at it.
Stephen King, he writes short stories and
Sorry, Betty.
All right. What did I say? Clean up dialogue and just a dick?
So it's interesting. I know that I've had my dream casting for a JonBenet movie or some sort of, I wouldn't do a series. I think a movie.
There's a Sega game for JonBenet? Sega Dreamcast?
What are you talking about? No, Dreamcast. Like Teddy, like with a movie, like who you would cast.
Cast. Like a leg
like
cast.
in how you say this would be good if Kathy Bates was in it for every movie you see.
Kathy Bates, the actress.
Yeah. You're like, her role would be better. And I'm like,
what actor do I want to act in it?
Yeah.
Cast, acts, it's the letters of switch.
Yeah.
Oh, you think Kathy Bates is JonBenet?
No, I think you would definitely cast her as JonBenet.
Oh, absolutely. She's an amazing actress. I love Kathy Bates.
Absolutely.
Fried green tomatoes, Steel Magnolias? I don't know. She's not in Steel
I wouldn't
Magnolias.
cast. I don't know. I couldn't cast JonBenet. There's that whole Netflix documentary about that.
Why was it Kathy Bates in Spaceship?
Mine wouldn't even have JonBenet in it. My movie, it would just be about their marriage and shit. Like after, doing all the press.
Maybe like with flashbacks?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, that's an interesting framing device.
But okay, so hear me out. All right.
Yeah.
John Ramsey, Thomas Jane,
The Punisher.
The Punisher. Yeah.
Thomas Jane.
Thomas Jane. Patsy Ramsey, Elizabeth Moss.
The Scientologist.
Yes, which we're gonna say anything about Scientology.
Well, I love Scientology.
We all do. Yeah.
I was a Scientologist for years.
Yeah. Please leave us alone.
I just couldn't do the homework.
Exactly. And then to do a Steve Thomas would be a Sir Patrick Wilson. He's not a knight. But.
Patrick Wilson, I love Patrick Wilson. His body is so beautiful. I really would do a lot of things with him. I told my new roommate, Scrap, that
He's got a new roommate.
His name's Scrap.
What'd you tell him about
He's got
Patrick
a lot of
Wilson?
scratches on his face. I said, I take it up the butt for him. Patrick Wilson.
And Scrap's like, me, Teddy.
He's
even letting me do that.
Well, Scrap's got
fucking some new.
No, I'm not fucking Scrap.
Scrap fucking you.
Sometimes, but that's just because it's prime real estate under the bridge.
You think maybe that's what's going on with you? Maybe you're just sick from having sex with a homeless man? Not being withdrawals?
I mean, Scrap wouldn't do nothing to me. Though Scrap may be part fox, which would explain a lot.
Yeah, because you've been talking about foxes a lot.
Fox. I got
and
fox
hound.
on the mind. I mean, you ever get fucked by a fox?
I don't think. Is he a furry? Is this like a homeless furry?
No. I mean, he does have a lot of hair, but it's just because he grows hair on his scabs, and he's got lots of scabs from lots of scratches. That's why his name's Scrap. And
Is that Tranq shit?
that what?
Is that Tranq shit finally hit our town? That stuff in Detroit?
The fentanyls?
I don't know what it is.
The
It's
Tranq?
like fake fentanyl or some shit.
I mean, there's all kinds of things, you
See
know.
that chick injecting it in her scalp?
Oh no, I haven't.
Put that up there.
No,
For no reason.
I have found that I haven't been in the participate in the street life like that as much. I found that if you get water that collects underneath train tracks, and you just sip that like at least once every day.
Yeah.
Once every other day, you're pushing it. You're pushing it.
Teddy, it sounds like you are adapted to street life.
I mean, I think the streets.
You're having sex with some guy named Scrap.
I'm not having sex with Scrap.
You still living in the annex thing, or not the annex? The little water room.
No. I'm living under the overpass. I'm living on the underpass.
Why?
Well, because it's got better airflow.
You know you can sleep here.
I got a better cross breeze. But I would rather sleep here than sleep next to Scrap while he's spawning me, that's for sure. And I don't necessarily come here to talk about Scrap because I got to talk about Scrap all the time I'm around Scrap.
He's just a selfish guy.
He's mean. He's a mean guy.
That's crazy.
I can say that.
I can't imagine you having to only talk about Scrap.
I mean, he's.
We should get him on. We should get him on here.
I mean, no, please don't. No, he's got a strong upper body. He's only 5'3", but his arms are massive, and he can just grab he just swings from the top of the, and he's just covered in orange hairs.
Like a monkey.
He's like a monkey.
That sounds horrifying.
He's got orange hair that grows on his scabs and his scrapes. He protects me from the other people, the underdwellers, we call them. Mm-hmm. But is he protecting, my safety overall, or just temporarily? Like, I don't know. And once you get him in a place, like, he is very persuasive. Like, if I bet Scrap came here, this would become Scrap's home. Yeah. He would outwit you,
okay.
and he will swing from things on the ceiling and stuff. Like, it's just. He does it fast.
I'm not going to invite him.
It's like a tornado.
You don't sell me on it.
It's like a tornado.
It's more of a joke.
Kind of like an orangutan in the Jumanji cyclone. Like, it's just so quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anywho, we're going to move on now.
Yeah.
All right. So, also, just in this past week, though.
Thanks for letting me talk about Scrap and my being withdrawal, by the way.
It's all right.
Just things that have been happening in my life.
Yeah, I think I can edit it out. It's fine.
Okay.
So,
all right.
But we also got, there's some other interesting things that came up that I had actually not known before.
Oh, like what?
Well, there was and it was being touted on the Reddit. I'll try to put up an image of the post if I found it again. But it's, it was basically saying that, like, hey, Alex Hunter, he wasn't really biased because he put a gag order on Lou Smit.
That was a prevailing thought. Like,
Exactly. But it's like, so I wanted to look more into it myself, and I did, and I looked into it, and basically that's not the case at all. This was around the same time that Steve Thomas, remember, resigned.
He resigned from the investigation summer of 1998, right?
Yeah, and actually it was on JonBenet's birthday.
Oh my God, on her birthday.
Yeah.
When's her birthday?
August 6th.
Oh my God, she's a Leo.
So it was very poignant, and he wrote that letter.
Yeah.
And we've talked about before how, the Lou Smit thing with, him quitting within a month, so it manipulated how things looked.
Yeah.
And basically that it was basically just all a ruse because it looked like, both investigators on the case quit. Lou Smit, again, guys, he was an investigator for the DA's office.
Yeah.
And so, but what had happened before he quit was that Alex Hunter publicly put a gag order on Lou Smit so he couldn't talk about the case. And it made it look like, the grand jury investigator wasn't going to be able to talk about it. It made it look like the investigator wasn't going to be able to talk about it before the grand jury thing happened. But when that didn't really sell, basically what ended up happening was Lou Smit then just kind of mock quit.
As a way to bring equilibriums or balance of a sort in the public perception between Steve Thomas quitting on JonBenet's birthday in protest of being basically stonewalled.
Saying that the DA's office is hindering.
And sandbagged the entire way when.
So then they put a gag order on Lou Smit. Like, hey, no, that's not true. Look at us. We're stopping our own people.
Because Lou Smit was the proponent, and he was doing news interviews and stuff of the intruder theory. I mean, because basically what we also kind of saw and what we kind of discovered in the Patsy and John episodes is after the last one especially is that. Once the Ramseys may have found out that there were warrants out for them, because the warrants were then maybe being asked for.
Yeah.
This is our theory, but warrants were being asked for after we saw that. We demonstrated that
it was a weird timing that once they were starting to search for the warrants.
Then suddenly the Ramseys just went.
We found the body.
And they found the body, and they stopped talking to anybody from the police.
And Lou Smit wanted to present this intruder theory at the grand jury. And they again publicly made a thing of he's not going to be able to do that. Because actually that's not grand juries aren't supposed to work like that anyways. It's basically just a test for the prosecution to present their case to a jury to see if there's enough, if you think we have enough to go to trial, because trials are expensive. So they don't want to waste a bunch of money. So they do this mock thing.
Yeah.
And normally,
which also gives them permission to indict people.
Right. And normally in this case, they don't, there's no defense that's presented.
Yeah.
And Lou Smit really wanted to, and they ended up letting him too. It's again, we're after quietly being no, we're going to gag order him and he's not going to be able to speak to the grand jury. They still let him do it.
But conveniently, he already got out there a theory that used bits of the evidence that some of that evidence was already so compelling in the police officer's mind on the day that this was all happening that they were already wanting to get arrest warrants or warrants to search the house. And instead, over the course of months, that the Ramseys didn't talk to the police, and then eventually Lou Smit came up with the intruder theory, because he didn't come up with that theory until April or May, right? April. And this happened in December. So there were a couple months there where the only things being reported in the news were that the Ramsey parents weren't cooperating with the police, or there wasn't necessarily here's this new intruder theory that Lou Smit and the DA and the parent, whatever, they all actually may think is that could counter that.
Right.
And so it's in some ways he already did part of his job, his real job as a fixer, I almost think, exactly. In my opinion, allegedly. And then Lou Smit, he quit. I mean, he was resigned, but then later on he was hired by the Ramseys.
Exactly. And then that's when he actually got to present his case.
Oh, actually, publicly.
Yes.
Or did he already do news interviews before then?
No, he'd done news interviews.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's when he actually presented it to the grand jury.
Exactly.
I see. Yeah. And so we learned that there was a gag order that was put on him.
Yeah, but it was just another little piece that was more hey, this is a part of their whole little campaign to make it seem like they weren't going to fuck him over. And then we all obviously know how the grand jury thing turned out. Because, they voted to indict.
Thank God we finally did.
And they didn't find out publicly until 13 years later.
And then it's never brought up by the Ramseys that happened. Even in their interviews as of late, where you see John Andrew Ramsey Jar, because you never really see Burnt anymore. But basically, they don't bring up anything that is factual and yet counters them. Exactly. Something like the fact that the grand jury did indeed vote to indict. I'd love to see someone in the news ask them about the fact
Yeah, they don't talk about it now.
No, because, and it's like, then why don't the people that are even interviewing them not asking questions like that?
Because the only people, I feel like the only spots that are coming out now are ones they're paying for.
Yeah,
like,
they've already, or like, they've already like agreed, like this is off limits, blah, 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 blah. But then it's like, then are you really a journalist or are you just a mouthpiece?
Which I can't wait to see how it works out with the miniseries then too.
I can't wait either.
See how they're going to try to sue them.
And hopefully, I mean, I see this as a rising water lifts all boats. You know what I mean? We're getting more and more listeners by the day. You know, there are people who are seeing what we're setting out to achieve, and you know, we understand that if there's people that don't like our podcast or us personally, especially Bobby, then like they have every right to feel that way. But if you
talking about?
I'm just saying that.
Oh my God, Kathy Bates is Nedra.
Oh my God.
There you go.
That Kathy Bates, please be in this miniseries.
Nedra, you'd be Elizabeth Moss's mom.
I'm gonna tell Scrap to whisper that into the darkness.
No, not the miniseries. Fuck that. I'm gonna do it with JonBenet movie.
Yeah, you do your own JonBenet movie, boy, and you get Kathy Bates as Nedra.
And JonBenet.
And use motion capture.
We're gonna Benjamin Button that.
We're gonna capture the motion of a dead little girl.
No, again, she wouldn't be in my movie. JonBenet.
Oh, JonBenet won't. She don't need to be in the movie.
No, she doesn't.
And that's the sad thing is that, like, you know, we see children who are in the entertainment industries of sorts, like pageants, but also like even what we're seeing with the Nickelodeons.
Right.
Like you look at that documentary, what's it called? Like
Quiet on the Set.
Slimed on my face. Quiet on the Set.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't know what it was called, Bobby. I haven't watched it. I'm traumatized. But when I think about what those poor kids put up with, and also just even outside of the kids, just people who had to work with bullies. You know, like, oh, this guy's a predator, but, you know, allegedly. You know, and he's sexually assaulting kids. I mean, you know, God knows who got Zoe 101 pregnant. You know?
I don't think that's brought up in the documentary I watched.
I don't know. I don't think about that, but it's a question.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it was that one guy. I don't know. I don't know anything about the Britney Spears family. But the point being is that there's a history of people who can't defend themselves, especially children. Children and little people. Easily tricked. You know, sometimes you mess them up. Sometimes, like in the golden hour, you can't tell. You just see, you see squint in the distance. You know what?
I'm sorry, what?
Well, you know. Wait, do you remember how in Ninja Turtles 3? Remember in Ninja Turtles 3, Bobby? The one where they went to Japan.
Sure.
And they went back in time. They went to Japan. They held that little thing. There was like an Olympic torch.
Sure.
It was a thing that they should have made toys of, and I would have bought. But they should have done Turtles on Ice, and I would have lit it up in the crowd as a little kid with a little turtle shell. Well, I mean, I don't know how else to explain the calcium that's growing on my back.
Nothing you wouldn't see on ice.
Some people have shells, Bobby.
Back to your fucking...
Yeah, boy. But there's a point where they're all dressed up in their samurai garb because they're back in time in Japan in 1610 or something.
And they're like against the thing?
They're riding horses. Hold on, Bobby. Black silhouettes against the red sunset or sunrise silhouette. And it's all in slow motion. And it's one shot. And it's one shot where you just start to see the turtles on their horses, dressed as samurais, riding towards you and growing, like going above the horizon line. It's gorgeous. It's amazing.
Okay.
And then people like me with calcium. Wait, what were we talking about?
Honestly, it sounds like you were excusing pedophilia by saying if you see a kid against the sunset at golden hour and you squint and you can't really tell.
No.
Then what the fuck are you talking about? What are you saying then?
What I'm saying is that I had calcium growing on my back as a kid. And it was like a turtle shell. And
That's not what you were saying.
Okay, hold on. Let me finish. But that momentum, that drive, that, you know, of the turtles riding towards the third act.
Sure.
That's kind of how I feel right now.
Oh, that's not at all what I thought you were saying.
Oh.
Because we were talking definitely about the pride on set and kids getting taken advantage of.
Yeah.
It sounded like one of your excuses was like, you know, sometimes if you see him against the sunset.
I just think I started talking about. I
think you just started talking about the Ninja Turtles.
I started thinking about Ninja Turtles.
Using what I was asking. I understood the picture you were painting. I just needed to know why.
Why? Yeah, no, I definitely wasn't thinking about having sex with Nickelodeon stars or nothing like that. Or
we'll play that back
be a
for
pedophile.
everybody.
No, well, yeah, I'll listen to it. But you know, I'm gonna confuse Bobby. I was really thinking about Ninja Turtles.
You didn't even watch the documentary, did you?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Something about Drake Bell and Josh.
No, well, Drake Bell got handled by his dialogue coach.
Oh my God.
Honestly, it was a kind of a negligent mother situation where
God,
dad was pretty. He was like, "Hey, the dialogue coach kind of got Drake Bell to stop having the dad be his manager."
Oh my God.
And then the dad, who was
and then the dialogue coach raped him.
Pretty much, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And Drake and Josh is not that funny for anybody.
And this was like right before they were about to start the show too.
And that's so it's like, oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
All those. See, it's so fucking wrong. And it's one of those things. What's his name? Brian Singer.
Brian Peck.
Brian
Singer too.
They're friends.
They both like little. Dude, that's not surprising.
Brian Peck.
I bet you they all go to Six Flags.
Now
together.
that you mention it, Brian Peck. He's actually he's in X-Men and X-Men X2.
That's
X-Men
right.
United.
That's right. He is. Isn't he?
And Brian Singer used to have like pool parties with underage boys, and had like affiliated with other people who I think have gone to jail for pedophilia.
They did that shit. Well, that's the thing is they talk about the thing where it's like Drake Bell, his his rock and roll shows, like all of Brian Peck and his friends would show up.
Oh my God!
And they all of Brian Peck and his friends took him to like Disneyland and shit too.
Oh my God! That poor guy.
Yeah, it's
Drake Bell. We're gonna hire Drake Bell for your movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're gonna put him in a role. We're not gonna hire Brian Peck though. You know. Hopefully he's not doing any work anymore. I hope he's not on this JonBenet miniseries.
Oh God, no.
God, you know.
Don't
hire Brian Peck, or we're gonna have a documentary in 20 years.
It is the same like arm of the studios, though. MTV and Nickelodeon, isn't that the same kind?
Oh God, yeah, that's right. It's all in the Viacom. Yeah. Well, I didn't know.
Dan Schneider presents the JonBenet.
Viacom. If you don't, we don't need a bunch of little kids on the Viacom neither. You can get a good performance out of a kid without traumatizing them and raping them.
Right.
And we've proven that.
I don't even know what kind of story they're gonna try to tell. Like, what do you?
Oh, the miniseries?
Because I feel like the only way to do it right now would be to do a thing that's kind of open to suggestion of what it is and not trying to show the murder the night of.
I feel like that.
I think the press tour of the Ramseys would be the most captivating.
Yeah. In this day and age, I don't see where they're not going to do something. Like, they could even do like a Rashomon kind of thing where it's like, different points of view.
I like that.
You know?
I like that.
But Rashomon, Felicia
Tucker.
Felicia Rashad and Rashomon 3s, 4. I have a feeling that no matter what, like the input that is going to be given from all directions is going to have it where there will be something of at least like when she's found. But like, I wouldn't be surprised if they film like a scenario of her getting killed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that'd be tasteless.
It might be. I agree.
I know that's rich coming from us.
I know, right? Like, it's a different medium, it's a different art form. I'm like, can we think about all this critically, everybody? But
you don't want to. I don't fucking Quiet Place it. Hereditary. We don't need to see a little kid getting killed for shock value.
Oh wow, I haven't seen either of those movies. Now I know that little kid. Thank you so much about me.
They're movies that hinge on a fucking child dying as a shock value.
You owe me some more bean water.
And Mother. Yeah. All of them. There was like they were all within the span of 6 months. All these movies that were like their whole shock value hinged on like, oh my God, they kill a kid.
They kill a kid.
Quiet Place right off the bat.
You know,
Hereditary like 20 minutes in.
Which makes me wonder, like, is that
It was in for a little bit.
Yeah, it was in, and it's not necessarily.
And I actually don't enjoy that.
I don't enjoy it either. It makes me feel sick.
It's cheap.
You know, and frankly, like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. Like, if to truly, like, to your point, like, with the JonBenet case is so sad.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this little girl, to show her killing, you can show the moments immediately after. You can show things, maybe an extreme close-up of the perpetrator's face. But you don't need to show the little girl being killed. No. You don't need to show the actual little girl in the moment that whether it's a flashlight on her head or whether, it's getting choked by a block, like I don't know, like a cord, like a cable.
God.
You don't need to show that.
No.
I agree.
But yeah.
Be tasteful like us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when in doubt, drink some beans.
And just a small portion of Reddit that we reached out would agree that it's not necessarily tasteful, but that we appreciate you guys sticking with us as long as you've listened, because we hope you understand we're not trying to be disrespectful.
I think it's natural for people to judge a book by its cover, but also you got to remember you should not do that. It's like everybody just reflexively, like they're just like, wah, 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 and then it's like, okay, but like remember that whole fucking message, that lesson. Like now, you're gonna keep applying it through new things your entire life.
Absolutely.
And
so we reached out to Reddit.
Yeah.
The subreddit was we'll tell you right up front. We did the JonBenetRamsey subreddit.
JonBenetRamsey subreddit. We're talking about JonBenetRamsey. So
Ramsey did it subreddit.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and we'll probably do another segment where we reach out to the other one because I'd love to see the same response.
Oh my God.
But we asked everybody they had the same question on this.
Yeah.
The first one being, who do you think killed JonBenet?
Okay.
Okay. The overwhelming response to that, what do you think that was? Not overwhelming, I guess.
Who killed JonBenet?
Yeah. It's the Ramsey Did It subreddit.
Ramsey did it, so probably not the intruder theory.
Probably not.
I would say maybe Burke or Patrick.
No.
Patty.
No, actually, they're quite the opposite. So 33% of them said Ramsey did it. So it's people that were just unsure.
Okay.
So these are people, and that's respectable.
It could be any Ramsey. That's not where I'm at.
But definitely Ramsey did it, okay? 29% are very sure John.
What? The most? Wait, how much?
John the most, yes.
Oh, wow.
If they were going to pinpoint somebody, which is
Somebody
very
specifically.
interesting. I was surprised with this subreddit, especially with like where we've been, like from what we've learned on the case so far. It's interesting. So and then we got tied for third place here is Patsy and Burke at 12.5%.
Oh my God, both of them are about the same amount. Oh my God.
And then there was somebody who just is in the wrong subreddit. It was intruder theory with 8%.
Which we appreciate you. We appreciate you on there.
Actually, yeah, absolutely, because it was really fast.
Wow. My gosh, Bobby, that's so professional. You asked these questions. You tabulated the responses. You put it in percentages. Those are like the word versions or the number versions of shapes.
Right. Okay. So, moving on here. Who wrote the note was the next question I posted to the subreddit.
Okay.
That one was 47% Patsy.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
Right. 21% were Patsy with John dictating.
Dictating. He was putting his dick in his face. In her face.
No.
He loved getting blowjobs, and he has sour.
Telling you what to write.
Oh. Okay.
That was also tied for second place with John at 21% wrote the note.
Oh,
And then we
interesting.
do have a 5% that says Burke. That's tied also with the intruder. Somebody thought Burke wrote the
Thank
note.
you so much for the participating, Burke person.
Yeah, that one was really interesting. Yeah, they thought Burke did it. Burke wrote the note.
I'd be interested for those people. I don't know. Did they know our podcast? Did these people? These are not people who've heard our podcast.
No, they don't. And so that's what we're gonna get there.
Okay.
And then I asked what the wildest theory is.
Yeah.
That was one of the questions too. What is the wildest theory you've heard? 50%, which a lot of people said this was the pedo ring. That there was some sort of
50%.
50% think that that's the wildest theory. I mean, that's true.
But I mean, what we just talked about in Hollywood, where there's the people who all
This is people that are saying 50% think it's the wildest theory they've heard.
Oh, wildest theory. Yeah, oh, not that it's their theory. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that is a wild theory. I would agree.
And then some cynicals in this subreddit, 25% said the intruder theory is the wildest theory they've heard. Which I'm like, come on, you've seen the other ones. You've seen the pedo ring. Don't be all sly like, the theory I've heard is that the Don't be an asshole.
Maybe they interpreted wildest to think like, what do you think is the least possible?
And then somebody thought it was one of the wild things was that Burke could have done more than what is it? It was a few people said it. 25% people said that Burke is the wildest theory they've heard.
When I think of Burke as the wildest thing, I think of Burke starring in Where the Wild Things Are with James Gandolfini's. Like, can you imagine if Burke Ramsey was that
exactly
kid?
As he is now?
Yeah, if he was in like a pajamas, like a wolf or whatever, like that kid was, and he's just going around hitting all these monsters with a flashlight. I mean,
he'd be the worst person.
He'd be the wildest of the wild things, I'm gonna die.
I don't think they did with kids with like violence.
Maurice, send that. Go ahead and send that back. Okay.
So some of the wildest theories that they brought up on there that I thought were great. One of them I actually seen before was that it was a theory that came out of Lake Chevereaux, Michigan, where there was a guy who had claimed for a little bit that he was paid by John Andrew Ramsey. Either that summer or the summer before.
John Andrew Ramsey?
Yeah, to try to run over their boat or like hit JonBenet with their boat.
Oh my God!
He claimed he was like paid $10,000 to do it or something stupid shit. It's just.
But there's nothing to verify. Yeah. There's no veracity to it.
And then another one is the Zodiac Killer. Was brought up as one of the wildest things they'd heard. My personal favorite is that JonBenet is Katy Perry. So we're definitely going to look into that one because that's...
She went from Google to Gaga and became Katy Perry. That's ridiculous.
Like Google, people grow up.
Did JonBenet get divorced over a text minutes before a concert too? I don't know.
Is that what happened?
That's what happened to Katy Perry. Russell Brand did that time.
Oh, well, that's on brand. That's on brand for Russell Brand. I thought you were saying Orlando Bloom did it. I was like,
oh my God, no,
Legolas?
Orlando would never.
He looks like he cries.
John Reese Davies, he might,
Oh, I can see that.
He still got
ghosts you.
He's still got a little bit of that.
Gimli?
Gimli.
A little Gimli spirit.
I can't believe Gimli just broke up with me over text. Gimli, what's wrong, Gimli?
What? Gimli?
And that's actually what.
Show him your phone.
That's exactly what Spear looks like.
Who? That's exactly who.
That's exactly what Scrap looks like.
Oh Jesus!
He looks like Gimli. He's like a younger Gimli, but he's like got bigger muscles.
Yeah, he can monkey bar around.
He can monkey bar around. I mean, I don't know what he's gripping on sometimes. I've seen him do it in the air.
Absolutely. And so we did we did reach out to some people because I'm very fascinated from just where some people's theories are now.
Yeah.
That I would love to discuss it with them. So that's happening right now. We're reaching out to select people.
This is a safe place.
But what we really want to do,
yeah,
because next week that's what we're doing we're gonna start doing our theories. We're gonna tell you guys where we're at, and we're gonna present our case to you. You're gonna be our grand jury. Okay?
Different routes on things that this ways could have happened.
Exactly.
Yeah, we're getting back in the saddle shoes again.
Yeah, like Jill did.
Yeah.
When she got fired and then she wanted to go back to college.
Jill she got fired. She wanted to go back to school. She wanted to get a psychology master's degree.
And Tim's like, that's a
He said, no. You do just well making cornbread.
Right? Well, she does okay.
Well, she does all right. But that's also, it explains a lot that she's a psychology student at heart.
Yeah, but if she figures out what's going on, she's going to leave Tim.
Well, that's why he stopped it. He's like, wait, I don't need you to connect too many concepts. Start inventing your new things, new insights, you know?
Great episode.
All right, Michelangelo.
Anyway, so yeah.
Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, those are names of turtles.
Yeah, absolutely. Good connection. So what we're going to do is we're going to be, next week we're going to start telling you guys where we're at, presenting our case to you, like our theories and stuff like that. And we got an interviews and stuff we got coming up that's planned. That's gonna
we got a lot of them planned. We've got to figure this out.
And but we want to ask these questions to you guys as well. Okay, so it'll be down in the description if you want. Maybe I'll have like a Google form, or you can email us, which will also be down there.
Yeah.
I want you guys that have been watching to answer the questions that I presented to the Reddit because I'm very interested to see where you guys are at.
Yeah.
Also specify whether or not you've watched the whole thing or not. I want to hear from everybody.
Give us an idea. If you've only watched one episode, that's fine. If you've watched all 14. That's even better.
Exactly.
Because there's some things that I'm going to be honest. Like, even the most hardened, cynical person against our mission and on this journey of us getting down to the bottom of this and figuring out who killed JonBenet, even they can't deny if they actually take the time, like we have, and like many countless fans already are, to pay attention to what's being shared and what we're discovering and what we're synthesizing. Even through beam withdrawal, etc. Synthesizing. I mean, we're musical. And we're also driven by an undeterred and valiant pursuit of the truth. And we have concrete evidence already that answers some questions that come about, I think, through the fog of uncertainty that is by design, in a way to shroud any culpability or responsibility from the people who have the money to try to have their names cleared.
Right.
But who didn't want to participate in the investigations, it seems like, since they won.
Right.
In many ways.
Exactly.
Versus the other people who may not have had the same platforms or the means in which to have their viewpoints connected the way that we're connecting them. Much like bean viscosities connect through water in a bean cup of water, of a bean water. And I'm gonna be honest, like, I feel so much better right now. I don't got the shakes anymore. I may just take a couple beans home with me.
I don't have any more beans.
No
beans.
But this was really helpful to kind of catch up on some of the stuff and to hear from our friends on Reddit.
Yeah, and we want to hear from you guys before we get into our theory episodes. And we got there was more other questions asked in the Reddit thing that we're going to highlight later, and I'm going to make it combined with, we talk to our fans and just people that are listening or whatever.
Yeah. We want to make sure everybody's voice is being heard.
Right. And so, but that's before we do our big episodes that are coming up of the theories. Theories.
We almost got to come up with a name for it because we already sort of said theory episodes for like several. Like, this is a new thing. Right. This is like.
It's always going to be.
It's not a conclusion.
It's not a conclusion at all. No, because
it's not. Keep going with this. It's not a conclusion. Stop saying it's conclusion, listener. It's one of those things where it is like something where it's like we're putting all the pieces.
It's a benchmark where we're at.
It's a big benchmark.
That's what it's at.
Yeah.
It's a benchmark of where we're at.
Oh my God, I love a good bench.
We were so happy you guys took a breath with us on this episode and discussed a little bit of JonBenet news.
Just a light little episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
A niçoise salad. to, just put something in your belly, a little fiber, so your poop is strong.
Beans, maybe.
Little beans. Oh, I love beans on a salad.
Oh, yeah. You like beans on anything.
Well, if I eat a salad, Bobby, if you buy me a salad and we put beans on it, can I have the beans that way?
I'm not. But Donna will be she'll be back here next week, Teddy. So.
Maybe she will. Maybe she'll be dead. Maybe she'll be dead. Maybe she'll be disappeared.
Stop saying these things on the mic.
What?
But hey, so again, we want to hear from you guys. Make sure you check in the description. Click that link. Send us an email. Fill out the
support our Patreons. Go on Patreon.
Yeah, go on Patreon and do it too.
I would have more money to buy beans. If you want to help me
that's not what that's for.
Well, it's not
back into the show.
But JonBenet today on Patreon, TODET.
TODET.
And our email's like that too, right? It's JonBenet today at what?
At gmail.com.
At Gmail.
Yeah.
Not Gmail. No.
Gmail. But hey, so thanks for stopping in with us. We'll be back next week. Don't forget to reach out. And
we love you.
We love you so much. So
we love you. I love you a little bit more, but we both love you a lot.
We both love you a lot. We even love you Reddit, okay?
I gotta go poop.
Yeah, you do. All right, well, I'm Bobby Pavlovsky.
And I'm Teddy Ron ready to go.
Say it again, Teddy.
And I'm Teddy Ron. It's the beans. I'm sorry.
I got you.
I'm sorry. It's 222, by the way.
All right, well, I'm Bobby Pavlovsky.
And I'm Teddy Ronald Reagan. This is Mickey.
And this is
JonBenet Today.